Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to class. Today we're going to play with the hips. Let me get this out of the way. We're going to play with the hips and just kind of get this feel for internal, external hip rotation, which I think is important, as well as stretching and strengthening the hips. And when I speak of the hips in my brain, the hips are part of the core of the body. And so we're not just talking about the kind of the side hips or what you would think of out here, but also the glutes, the hip flexors, right? Psoas and quads a little bit, as well as the low belly. So the whole pelvic ring is sort of my definition of hips. So my own personal definition. So let's start on the floor. You may or may not want your strap. We're going to do some really good stretching of the legs, and then we'll take it from there. So come on down to your backs. Keep the feet on the floor so that you can just feel your spine and feel yourself starting to ground through the feet, through the back body. Maybe draw the shoulders toward the mat a little bit more. Your hands can rest wherever they feel comfortable. Start to take some deep breaths, everyone. If you would like, go ahead and take the feet toward the edges of your mat and let the knees drop in. So this is a very simple internal rotation of the hips and the thighs. So we get a sense of what that feels like in our body. Some are more some people have a better internal rotation of the hips or of the femur bone, and some external. So just kind of get a sense of how that feels. You can change the width of the feet if it feels uncomfortable. Allow the breath to come in nice and deep. And as you exhale, let it go. Notice that the back of the neck is long, that the shoulders are soft to the floor, that the belly is just rising and falling, the chest rising and falling with your breath. And breathe. And as you breathe, and as we think about the pelvis, the hips, we just send that whole area some energy, some love. There's so much going on there. Good. Bring the feet together so that the big toe edges are touching. And very slowly, just let the knees roll out to the sides. And then just to slowly bring them back to center. Good. Just 4 more like this. Nice and slow. Pause at the bottom. And then bring them back to center. Good. 3 more. Inhaling as the knees go out. Exhaling as the knees come back in. Good. 1 more right there. And bring them in. And then separate the feet, hips width apart. Draw the right knee to your chest and extend the right leg up to the sky. You don't need your hands or a strap unless you do, right? So if your hamstrings are really tight or your hips are really tight, use your strap or use your hands. But otherwise, just see if you can extend the leg up, point the toes, and flex just a couple times. Get the ankles moving, circle the ankle one direction, and then circle the other way. And then feel the hips nice and even, right? The deep hip crease on the right side, and lower the leg and then point as you raise it up. Doesn't have to go high. Flex the foot as you lower and point as you go up. Good. One more here and point. And then as you release, turn the leg to the outside. So externally rotate and come to figure four. Don't bring the knees up, just pause right here and see how that feels. Notice the shift in the hips, right? They'll tend to move when we put the leg in this position. Try to square the pelvis and then squeeze the belly. Don't use your hands. Bring the knees up toward your chest. Bring it down, maybe tap your heel. Bring it up, squeeze. You can use your hands, by the way, and down. Good, just three more. Squeeze up and down. And four and five. Good, that left foot goes back to the floor. The right leg releases. Take it straight up. And then bend the knee, that foot comes to the floor. All right, same thing other side. You're planting the right, the left leg goes up to the ceiling. Go ahead and point and flex. Again, use that strap if that is better for your body. And a nice big couple of circles. Circle the other way. And then flex the foot as you lower. Maybe you tap the floor, maybe not. And then point, lift up, nice and easy. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Good, just two more. Breathe, starting to warm up those legs, those hips. Last one here, lifting and lowering. And then take the leg all the way up. Externally rotate that and come to figure four. Pause here. Don't lift the knees just yet. Square the hips. Find your breath here and then squeeze in through the low belly as you lift the knees up toward your chest and then slowly lower, maybe tap the heel or tap the toe. Squeeze in, stretching that left hip and down. Three more. Squeeze it in. Exhale down. Good. A couple more. Warming up these bodies and up. Good. Last one. I lost count, so last one. And lower that foot down to the floor. Release that leg. Take it up to the ceiling and both feet to the floor. Both knees to your chest. The thumbs go underneath your sacrum, supporting the lower back. Both legs go up. Good. Squeeze the heck out of your lower belly, everybody. And then just do little, I don't even know what these are called. They're scissors, I guess. Just down. You go as low as you want, but no lower. And then back up again. Yep. Point the toes. I think this is a little Pilates type move, but it's really good for the legs and the core. Good, couple more, just slower, just getting that belly warmed up. Remember what I talked about, part of the hips, part of the core. One more. Don't forget to breathe. And all the way up. Hold both legs up, flex your feet, cross your left in front of your right or closer to you, whichever way that makes sense for you. So I've got my knees crossed, bend the knees, and draw the knees toward your chest. So we've got a little bit of internal and external rotation going on here. So once those knees are toward your chest, separate the heels away from each other. This is cow face legs, right? That's all that is. It's supine. It's easier because our backs are supported. We're separating the heels. I don't want you reaching for anything. Just pull those heels away from each other. Feel the work. And then release. Undo the legs. Both of them go straight up to the ceiling. Cross your right in front of your left. Bend the knees. Bring those knees toward your chest. And then separate the heels as if someone were pulling those heels away from each other. Good. Breathe, everybody. Release both legs straight up. Use your hands this time to the outer thighs. Take the legs nice and wide. Just breathe. And then take the hands to the inside knees and squeeze in against resistance, inner thighs. The hands go outside. You're not doing much there. You're just guiding. And then the hands go inside, squeeze, everybody. Just one more here. Hands outside, opening up, stretching the inner thighs. And then the hands go inside, big squeeze. Good. Bend the knees, everybody. Bring those knees to chest. Roll to one side and come on up. How'd you like that? Come on up, everybody. Good. Straighten those legs in front of you. Find your seat. Feel free to sit up on a blanket or a block. Let me have a good solid Dandasana. The legs get super active. The chest lifts, the tailbone goes down, the fingertips go behind. So instead of our normal hands down, right, or fingertips down, take them back a little bit. Draw the chest back, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other, and fire up the legs. Good. Release. Take the arms up. Hold on to that beach ball. Really work the legs, everybody. And exhale, let go. Lean back. Bend your right, I'll mirror here. Bend your right knee. Come into figure 4 on this side. So watch the knee here, right? So the challenge, anytime we put this kind of downward weight on the straight leg, we can hyperextend the knee. I know I've got black pants on, so it's hard to see, but I've got my foot, my ankle really above that knee. If you feel your knee, either a block or a blanket under the knee, flex the long leg. I want you to lean back. Oh, the shoulders back, lift the chest, feel the crease of the hips, and then bend the bottom knee. Whew, and straighten. Good. Bend, bring it in toward chest, however far you want to go. And 3, slide in, out. 2 more. Slide it in and out. This time, hold, right? It depends on where you are. It may not be super high. It might be halfway down. Just a soft bend in the knee, and then sit up really tall and wrap those arms around that thigh, or around the shin rather. Ooh, and feel that. Just a sweet little stretch right there. Don't overdo it. We got a lot going on in class today. Breathe. Make sure that you're not relying on this for your pose. In other words, you could let go and you're not going to drop back. Good. And then take, again, I'm mirroring. If this is my right leg, I'm taking my right arm to the inside or the sole of my right foot and coming into a seated twist. Breathe. So I'm pushing my foot into that forearm and I'm pushing the forearm back, keeping the hips squared, rotating through the chest, through the belly. Good. Come on back to center, everybody. Slide the long leg back down. Release the other. Engage both quads. The arms up. Nice little Dandasana. Exhale, release. Lean back, bend your left. Come into a figure 4-ish pose, right? Watch the knee again, right? Really important here. Just sit up really tall. And notice you can, and you're just leaning back a little bit so that you can get that straight leg moving. And then draw it up 5 times. Slide up, slide down. And 2. Yep. 3, squeeze in. 4. 5, hold it here. Find where you are on this side. Hips are different. If you have any pain, that's a big no-no, right? So you lower until there's none. If you have compression, especially in the hip flexor, the hip joint here, lower down until you don't, or take the foot lower. I should have said this on the other side. so that you're not pinching anything in this hip flexor. I should have said that on the other side. All right, so once you're here, your hands are either down low with that chest nice and lifted, or they wrap around the leg. Good, you can rock a little bit, it feels good. And then same thing here, either you're here, right? Or you're gonna take your left forearm to the inside or the bottom, kind of the arch of your other foot, and come into a just a seated twist. Breathe. Easy, easy. And release, come back to center, slide the long leg down, release the other one, engage those quadriceps, and just shake that out. Come into Janu Sirsasana. You can either go your left leg, so I'm mirroring again, or choose your side and flex through the other leg. Take the hands behind, lift the chest, lengthen up as tall as you can, and then press your foot into your thigh into your foot. Breathe. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, easy forward fold, right? Why do I say easy? You know me by now. I'm not a huge fan of this rounding thing. It's okay for you if it's okay for you, but I'd much rather see length. It's like somebody has a string at the crown of the head and it's reaching it diagonally up so that the chin isn't reaching, the chest is the one moving toward the toes, the upper back stays neutral. It's never about how far you can reach. Breathe. Nice, easy breath. Come on up, everybody. Roll the shoulders, no hands. Straighten that leg, shake that out. Go to the other side. You can use your hand to get where you want to be in Janu. Again, didn't say, but you can certainly use a block underneath that knee to support your knee if it is up. Everybody's different. You know that. I say it all the time. It's a marvel, it's a mystery, it's amazing. Good. Sit tall, take the hands behind, lift through the side body, and then take the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Feel that first stretch, and then allow the body to release the hands to the floor. The chest moves forward. That hinge of the hip gets a little deeper. And then we just breathe here. We're like, oh, yeah, that feels good, or not. Right, but resist your urge to round and drop your forehead to your knee unless your spine is really straight. Deep breath. And release. Oh, straighten both legs, shake those out. Bend both knees, lean back. We're almost done with the floor work. Take your right leg, cross over your left leg. Okay, so your knee to knee, and then walk those heels out. We did this laying down. Grab a block, maybe, and just pop it underneath that bottom knee and lower the knees on that. You can take that block higher. Your knees might not be, I realize I should have wore different pants for visibility, but your knees can be separated from each other. Doesn't have to be. So this is cow face legs. Again, it's a deep pose. If you feel any compression in the hip, especially that top hip, want you to modify or change the direction that you're going. Specifically, you just separate those knees and you should release that compression. And just sit up tall and breathe. Some people like to flex their feet here, some more relaxed. Whatever feels good. Breathe. And then release, lean back, switch, cross your knees, place your feet. You can even be up really high here. You can lower down to the block. Oh, yeah, feel that. I'm leaning back a little bit because I'm feeling just a little compression in the one hip. So I'm going to lean back and alleviate that a little bit. The older I get, the more I respect my body's messages, right? I used to just push through, didn't matter what it felt like. Not a mas, no more, no more. Breathe. Good. And lean back, everybody. Release, go wide. Yep. And then slide those sit bones back. You don't have to go this wide. If you have your block there, even better. And again, just feel. Um, eh, I say it, I feel like I say it a lot, but when we respect and honor and listen to our bodies, right, we're just going to reduce those chances of injury and increase those chances of a happy, healthy body. So when I pause here, right, I feel a big old stretch on the inner thigh, particularly on the left. So I'm going to take the flesh out from the bottom and kind of internally rotate the thigh a little bit. In fact, I'll do it on both sides. And now I feel the sit bones a little more evenly. Still feel the stretch here. So that's just telling me that side is way tighter, but I'm not in any hurry to go forward. Just going to breathe. Now, if your body is such that you want to take your torso forward a little bit, and you are not, and you are listening to your body, please do. Some of you I know can go right down to the floor. I'm not one of those people. Breathe. And then sit up if you've leaned forward. Just slide those legs forward. Set your block to the side. Bend your knees, just wrap around them and release. All right. Woo, good stretch, everybody. Let's come to table pose. Table pose. Have your blocks near the front of your mat. If you are not on a cushiony something, please use a blanket for your knees. I'm downstairs and on carpet, so it's almost too cushy, but it's kind of nice. Come to table pose. You get my class and my commentary. Spread the fingers, claw in just a little bit, press your body away from that floor, and then draw the low ribs in, draw the belly in. Take the right leg back. Again, tone through the belly, lift, and point your toes. Tap your toe and lift. Yep. Tap, lift, firing up the glutes. 5, 6, don't let the low back get involved. 7, 9, last one, 10. Listen up, same side. Bring that knee to your elbow for 5. 1, press it back. 2, 3, 4. Yep, one more. 5. Last thing here, you're going to take that same right leg, step outside your right hand so that your foot is not only wide, but it is diagonal, right? So my toes are actually off my mat, my heel is on my mat, and then I'm going to lift that right or that left knee and come into this funky lunge. Now, here's what I want you to do. Keep the knee, the right knee, pointing in the same direction as your foot. Got my knee pressing into my upper arm. Can use your blocks here. Fire up the left leg. Breathe. And then lower your left knee. Both hips back as you slide that right leg back. If you need to come up and come off hands for a second, go ahead and do that. And then come on back. Left leg back, ribs, belly in. Lift the leg, feel the glute engage, point the toes. Give me 5. 1, give me 5. 2, 3, 5. Take the knee to the elbow. 1, press it back. And 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then take that leg wide outside your left hand to the foot is angled, maybe 45-ish degrees. Again, hands or blocks, right? Whichever works best for you. You can hang out right here or slide and lift the right knee. Don't drop the hips. I know some of you are so tempted to let those hips drop to the floor. Keep the right leg super active. Find your breath. And then lower that knee, slide the left leg back, walk your hands forward, and find puppy stretch. Come on back. Come off those wrists if you need to. Give them a little shake. It's always kind of nice to stretch the backs of the feet anyway. We're almost done here. I want you to take both hands to blocks. Take them at the lowest setting. You're still on table or still at table pose. You're going to take the right knee and cross your left. Okay? So all you're doing is it's like you're walking, kind of walking on your knees, and then bring it back. The left side, slide it forward, come around the right knee, and back. Walk hands, blocks to the end, the back end of your mat. Now, one, you're just going to stay in place and do that right over left, left over right, or you're going to walk to the front of your mat. Please watch your knees. So tone the belly in, bring the right knee across the left and pause. Walk your blocks forward, do the other side. The blocks are just giving us a little more space. Go right, go left, pause, listen up. Some of you, most of you, are going to hang out right here. The heels move away a little bit. There's your cow facey kind of legs. Some of you are going to lean back. So coming more into cow face. If you are awesome here and you feel fine and your knees are fine, take one block, put it behind you, and have a seat. So now you're in an elevated cow face legs. If this hurts, don't do it. If you feel good, dance. All right, coming out. You're going to lean forward, grab your block. You're going to take your front knee, which is my left, and I'm going to bring it back behind. So now it's behind. Gonna do the same thing. I'm going to take one block, set it back behind me, hope I land on it, and sit back. I did warn you before I recorded. It's going to be a weird class. It's probably the weirdest part, so don't worry. All right, lean forward, everybody. Take your block back to the front of your mat. Undo your legs. Just set the blocks aside for a moment. Plant your hands, lift, and come to down dog. Oh, that feels better, right? Just breathe. Again, if it's okay with your body, tippy toes, tap the knees, and then lift and straighten. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, 2 more. Exhale, tap your knees. Inhale, lift. Last one. And lift. And then step forward, right leg. Step forward, left. I know you were like, oh, please. Hands to knees, lift, head, neck, chest, and come up. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Shake that out. Good. Breathe. So feet are hips width apart or slightly wider. you're going to take the elbows to your knees. I'm facing forward so you can see what in the world I'm talking about. And again, notice this. From here, draw the low ribs in, right? So I really just want you to not dump in your lower back. So as we engage low belly and low ribs, we lengthen through the lower back. From here, you're going to cross your forearms so that your hands are going to kind of those inside knees. And then you're going to push your knees into your hands. I have my elbows, my hands in. Whoo! You'll find it. If your elbows are on your thighs, you won't get there. So draw a straight line with those forearms and push. I know. If you don't feel this, I want your autograph. Keep the feet planted. Don't lift off those big toes. Press the knees in. Resist with your hands. Feel your hips. You can sit down more in this if you want. You can lift up a little higher. Just one more big deep breath. And release hands to thighs. Come on up. Whoo, shake that out. Love that isometric work. Come on back to the front of your mat. Let's have those blocks where you can get to them. And stand tall in mountain pose. Again, mountain pose, it's such a simple but ultimate hip, pelvis, core pose if we allow it to be. Find your breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, everybody. Hands can go to your blocks. Step back with your right leg. Lower your right knee to the floor. Undo your toes, hands to knee. Push down on that knee and open up front of right leg. Take the right arm up. Leave the left arm where it is. Good. Breathe, everybody. Take that right arm to the outside of your left knee. Your left hand goes to the sacrum and draws the sacrum down. Your knee is pressing into that forearm, and the forearm is resisting. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, both hands to your blocks. Walk your left foot to the outside. Heel is on your mat. Toes may be off your mat. It's angled about 45-ish. Flip your toes under, lift your knee. Yep. Please don't sink in through the hips. It's not about that today. Tuck in through the belly, the low ribs. So 1, you're here. 2, you're going to lower those blocks. Breathe. 3, don't need no stinking blocks. Gonna come to hands. Or 4, the left hand goes to the left knee, right hand stays where it is, and we come into a little bit of a twist. You can even take that arm up. Breathe. Woo! Exhale, plant your hands, lift the hips, step back, down dog. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, tap your knees. Lift right back up. Step forward, right leg. Lower your left knee. Undo your toes. Hands come to your knee. Yep, we're getting there, everyone. Big deep breath. Right hand stays where it is. Left arm reaches up. Stretching the quadriceps, stretching the hip flexor. Nice job, everybody. Walk those hands down. Take the right hand inside. Again, bring your blocks in place, especially at the beginning, because one side can be different than the other. The hands go to your blocks. Your foot angles out. The knee and the foot are lined up. Lift your left knee. Squeeze the left glute. Get everything working. So you have blocks. You have no blocks. Ooh. Your right hand goes to your knee. You stay there. Good upper body work on that left side, or you take that arm up. Breathe. Gotta breathe. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Lower the knees to the floor if you can. Wide knees, big toes toward each other, a wide leg child's pose. Notice how you feel. Hopefully you feel marvelous. Excuse me. Right, so come on up, everybody. Table pose. Walk your knees back to center. Plant your hands, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Listen up. As you bring it in, you're going to go to figure 4 leg with a down dog. Bend your right knee. Bring the left ankle across and above that right knee. Hold. You got it. 1, you're here. 2, don't like this at all. Go to down dog. 3, tap your right knee. So means your left. And then come on up. Release that leg. Right side lifts. As you take it down, figure 4. Soften and bend the left knee so you're not going to hyperextend. You're okay here, or tap the knee. Come on up. Release. Lower both knees. Child's pose or hero pose or thunderbolt pose. Breathe. So we know that if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? The body gets used to it. So although we play with a lot of the same poses, if we can approach them, play with them, move into and out of them in a different way, the body goes, oh, that's interesting. I kind of like that. And it creates a different pathway in the brain. There we are. All right, come on up, everybody. Table pose. Have a block just kind of on either side of your mat. Do this one just so you can see in case. So here we are, table pose. Draw the belly in, flip your toes under, downward facing dog. If your knees are already screaming, just take a break on the figure 4 stuff, okay? All right, left leg lifts. Figure 4, bend the right knee, take the left ankle above that right knee. You're gonna lower that right knee, and guess what pose you are almost in? Almost in pigeon, right? So 1, I stay here. Undo your back toes, by the way. Or 2, I'm just gonna lengthen that right leg until I start to feel a pigeon that works good for me. Now that block, right, we did this a couple of classes ago, can go under the left hip to support your pose. Does not need to be, but can, or a blanket. So we find this pigeon pose for us. We start to sink in. The hip line is level. You can, by the way, if this pose is difficult, you can lay on that left side. That's okay. It's called lazy pigeon, but you're not lazy for doing it, right? It's just a variation, or the hips are level. The low belly tones in. We fire up the hips. I'm pressing this left leg into the floor. We're coming out. I know you wanted to lay down, but no, we're not ready. Flip your toes under on the right. Lift that knee. Press all the way up, downward facing dog. Woo! I'm going to walk back to the front of my mat. because I need the room. Here we go. Left leg lifts, right leg lifts. Figure four, bend the left knee. You can stay right here. Lower the knees. You can stay here. Extend back through the left leg. Find your pigeon. Breathe. Hips are even. You can see maybe I have a little space underneath that right hip, and I don't like to hang in the pose. So there's two options. Either we engage the legs, the hips, the glutes to keep form, or we get something, pillow or block, underneath that side to support it so that I can level the hips. Big deep breath. Left side is active. Good job, everybody. To come out, I want you to flip your toes under on the left, lift the knee, right? So we're already here. And then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Tippy toes, lower both knees. Maybe take them wide and come into child's pose. Find your breath. I did warn you, maybe before class, lots of figure fours today and variations, right? If you think about figure four and then think about pigeon pose, the form is very similar. Deep breath. Take care of your knees. Love yourself. Trust your body. We're almost done. We're almost done with all this. All right. Back to table. We're coming back to pigeon. Another option, by the way, with pigeon that I don't really talk about, I've seen before in different classes, is if turning the foot to that opposite hip. I have seen people, just so you know, slide the knee so the compression is okay for your knee, but it's the twist that you don't like. And then they stay here with the knee, shin, foot lined up with the thigh. So that's kind of a nice option. It's less hip, but it sure as heck is good flexibility for that side and a stretch through the left front. So keep that in mind. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees. Take your right foot, your right ankle to your left upper knee. Here we are again. Lower the knees. Decide for you the level of pigeon and the support, right? Something under that hip, not anything under that hip. Hold here, come into a good back bend for me, just for a moment. Come into the fingertips. Whoo, squeeze the left glute. And then come on down if you want to elbows or all the way down forehead to hands. Notice if you're leaning to the right side, see if you can keep the hips level. And breathe. From here, come back up. You're going to drop to your right hip. Bend your left knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, your right hand down, your left arm over. Just simple here. Just a little internal, external on the hips. As you release, both hands go back to the front of your mat. You're going to flip back where we were before. Lift the left knee, down dog. I know, so simple, right? It's just an awesome, awesome thing. Bend your knees. Let's see if I can get it on the right side, correct side. Oh, sugar. Bend your, yeah, I don't remember now which side I just did. I'll get there. The other leg. Lower those knees to the floor. I think that's right. Left knee forward. Isn't that funny? And then again, pick your pigeon. So you lower down. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Isn't that funny how that happens? I'm like, I just did it. Find pigeon. If you can, come to the fingertips, level the hips, lift the chest, little back bend here, and then come on down to your elbows. Ooh. Feel the stretch. This is generally speaking a left hip stretch if your left knee is forward. Maybe you come down to your forearms. Sleeping pigeon. Just breathe. Press into your hands. Lean on the left hip. Bend the right. Here we are, right? This very wide windshield wipery thing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale your left hand down or forearm and just reach the other arm overhead. As you push up, take that back knee, bring it forward, and find just a seat here. We're going to come back to standing for a moment, but I want to just give those legs, hands, everything a moment's break. So just kind of check it out. How do you feel? What's going on with your body? How is the breath? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus arms. Twist everything to the left. Take one hand to the opposite knee and your left hand back behind you. Drop the shoulders. Broaden through the collarbones. Maybe close your eyes. Tap in. Are you over twisting? Can you soften this just a little bit? Take your back hand, bring it across, elbow to elbow, drop down, only as far as is good for you. And come on up, inhale. Exhale, cactus arms, twist the other way, hands come down, the shoulders open, the torso gets nice and tall. I'm not overdoing. You should be able to release that hand from the knee and not lose your twist, right? Don't use this for a pivot. Take the back arm, reach up, cross elbows, take it down and forward if you would like. Release, inhale up. Exhale to your heart. Shake that all out. Back to table pose to come to standing, okay? So table, downward facing dog. Feel that beautiful stretch of your body. Take your feet wide, walk your hands back. And bend the knees, hands to knees, come on up. All right, so balance pose. This one is going to be taken in stages. And I will tell you, for me, I'm on a thick carpet and a thick mat, and doing this pose down here is really tricky for me. So if you want to get on a more solid surface, please do. Make sure there's nothing around your feet that might trip you up. And pause. Find mountain pose. So we're going to come into that figure four standing. Another option, by the way, is to just have a wall close by where one arm or one finger can touch your wall. So I'm going to bend both knees like I'm coming into chair pose or squat. Hands to hips. I'm going to take my right ankle above my left knee and pause. Now, this might be the end of your pose, right? Hands to, see, hands to heart. Sink in, tone the belly. So option one, you're here. Option two, no, thanks. Option three is you're gonna, you're gonna take, if I'm mirroring and this is my right leg, you're gonna take your right arm to your foot, push your foot into your hand into your foot, and either take your left hand to your hip or to your sacrum. Woo. Draw down on the sacrum, the chest lifts. And then, not gonna happen on this side. Maybe you look to the left. I was doing this on bare floor and hanging in there. And come on out, everybody. And came down here to do it. And it was like, holy moly, what a difference the soft surface is making for me. Breathe. Same thing. Sink in. You can hang out here. You can take your left leg to your right thigh. Sit back, right? Find the balance. You can take your left hand, take your left hand to your right hip and either take that hand to sacrum or hip, harder part, looking to that side, throwing that gaze off. You do it, I'll watch. And come on out. A day in the life of a yogi. Good, just shake it out, everybody. Come on up. Let's see if we can find a little more accessible balance pose. Stand tall. Come into tree pose, one side. So still doing a similar thing, right? Hands to heart. Press into your foot. Foot presses into thigh. Breathe. Maybe take the arms up. Release those hands. Come on down. Shake it out. Switch sides. Come into tree pose, your version, your style. Maybe the arms go up. I was so thrilled with that kind of pinnacle balance pose and then totally lost it. That's just too awesome. And come on down. All right, front of your mat, everybody. If your blocks have gone astray, just bring them near. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Plank pose. Knees down, chest down. Release. Reach the arms back and give me just a little locust pose here. Little back bend. Take one arm forward. Bring it back. Take the other arm forward. Bring it back. Turn the palms up and imagine you can touch the ceiling. Lower down, turn the palms down, lift, and lower everything. Shake that out. Turn over to one side, bend your knees. Come up to a seat, I know, right? Grab a block. Have the other one close by. and sit up on your block. So that block is right underneath your sit bones, and it gets us up nice and tall. Reach the arms out to the side and then up. Pat your back with your left arm. Take the right arm out, internal rotation. Bring it back behind. Maybe your fingertips touch, maybe not. You can use your strap here, but I would prefer just don't worry about, if you feel okay, don't worry about the fingers getting too close. In fact, if you can hold fingers, go. Just let the fingers be near each other. And breathe. Release. Release. Shake that out. Inhale, reach up. Good. Pat your back with your other hand, your right. Take the other one out to the side. Internal rotation. Reach that hand up the back if it'll go. Don't clasp fingers. Just let them be near. You can touch them. Just don't clasp them. If you clasp them, notice the additional tension or pressure in particularly the bottom arm's shoulder. Good, smile. And release. You're all gonna laugh, my regular students anyway, that this was gonna be an easy class when I first started, and then I was here practicing and got all kinds of groovy ideas. So that's what happened to that. Have your block nearby. Careful on your block. Lean back. Cross your, I'll try to mirror here, your right over your left. Walk the feet out. So cow face legs, super easy for some people, super hard for other people. It is all about how you are built. This is not a contest, and it doesn't make you a better or worse yogi. What I do like is if we're sitting up on the block, it gives our hips some space. So we have something to work with. So some of us can take the other block at the same level, right, at that lower level, and just drop the knees on there. That feels really sweet. Some of you are going to have your knees higher. Some are going to come more into almost a figure four-ish to make that work for your hips and your knees. Trust your body and play here. Just shift, shift, shift until you find it. There are some who don't need either block. You can come off your bottom block. Knees are either right on top of each other or slightly spaced. And you can hold here wherever you choose, either using your hands for balance or take the arms up. Take your, if my right knee is top, take your left hand behind your back, keep it high. Reach this one behind, so I said that incorrectly, but opposite arm high, and come into cow face pose. Let the head nestle back in that arm so we're not dropping forward. Keep the torso tall. Again, some of us can just drape over those legs, but today I prefer that we keep the upper body upright, so we're not rounding in the upper body. Breathe as we kind of soften the legs and find our breath. Release the arms, everybody. Ooh, shake those out. Hold on to the feet and maybe press into the arches of the feet to find yourself not only grounded, but a sort of a bound pose. So we're closing the loop here. Good. Release. You're going to lean back and undo and then redo the other side. So again, you may still be up on your block. You might have a block here. Trust your body. I love sitting up on a block. It's something I do if my hips feel particularly tight. And I've noticed as I've gotten older, this pose used to be super easy. I could wake up in the morning and go into cow face, but not so much anymore, right? A little wear and tear on those babies, on those hips. So I go in slower. I make sure I'm super warmed up. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it. All right, here we go. Take the arms up, Lordy. Pat yourself on the back. Take the other arm out, curl it in. Try not to grasp fingers, but just let them touch or not, right? Wherever you are, sit up tall. Feel the head move back in space. Find your breath. Maybe close your eyes and just take in the sensation in and around your hips, possibly in and around your shoulders. Release the arms. Take the palms of your hands into the soles or the arches of your feet. Again, only if it is comfortable. Push down. Lean back. Ooh. Take the legs wide, not your widest, but wide. And just windshield wiper those feet. And then start to slide them in, windshield wiper. Ooh. Good job, everyone. Have your blocks nearby. Take your feet to the end of your mat. Just a little bit of core work on the way down. Take those arms out. Lift your chest. Start to come down. Pause part way. Come down a little bit more. Part or pause way. And then inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower the rest of the way. Grab your blocks. Take one on either side. The soles of the feet come together. The blocks to the outer thighs at any height you need to be fully supported in Baddha Konasana. Some of you have the blocks closer to the hips, some of you closer to the knees, but please support it fully. Your thighs, some part of your leg should feel heavy on the blocks. Pause here. Hands can rest on the low belly. And maybe take a moment here to thank your hips, your pelvis, your belly for all it has done for you this far in life, whether you have injury or not. This center weight in the body that not only grounds us, but carries us through our lives. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So one, you are here. Two, I would suggest you bring the legs together. Use the blocks underneath your thighs, like kind of like the middle back of your thighs, so that the knees have a soft bend in them, the feet relax, the hips fully relax. And then allow the arms to come out to the sides or down along your sides and find the freest shavasana that you can find. Close the eyes. Allow yourself to be right here, right now, feeling all of the sensation and beauty in your body. Go deeper still. For those of you who are ready, and if you're not, please stay longer. Start to move the legs, start to bend the knees. Draw one knee and then the other toward chest. And just hold those knees in and rock side to side. Allow the knees to roll over to one side or the other, curling over in seedling pose. And then ever so gently pressing all the way up. Breathe. Inhale, take it up. Exhale it to your heart. And bow to your own inner goodness, your desire to be helpful, the hope that dwells within your heart. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.